So the thing that came up in the practice today and it's come up over and over and over again, and I wanted to talk a little bit about that with y'all, is the idea that non-competes are or are not enforceable, and what you give up by signing non-competes and non-solicitations and those agreements, and just, folks, state of Texas, they're more enforceable than they've ever been in the history of our laws. We have a Supreme Court of the state of Texas that has issued opinions just repeatedly over the last 4 or 5 years that it is not the court's job to rescue you from or your business from an agreement that you signed that looked like a good deal at the time that later turned out to not be such a great deal. And what that means in plain English is that those agreements, if you've signed them and they're valid binding agreements, they're enforceable. And they include lots of often harsh provisions that require you to give up your right to a jury trial, and provisions that require you to not work in your field, in your space, provisions that require you to move your business to a different space entirely, or worse, that move you into a space that's not where you reside. So you'd have to go to Wisconsin or some other place to work in your field. So just remember something, that the founding fathers, and I've said this before, the founding fathers of the United States of America fought to bring the right to a jury trial in every civil and criminal case to every citizen of the United States. It was so important. The jury trials mentioned 3 times in our enabling documents, the Constitution of the United States of America and those documents, and that is not something you should give up lightly. So anyway, I hope this has been of some help. Reflect heavily and make sure that the exchange, the benefit of the bargain, is worthwhile for what rights you are giving up in signing non-solicitation and non-compete agreements. So that way you're not in a position at some point down the road sitting out a non-compete, 18-month non-compete, 24-month non-compete, where you're not working in your field and you've given up something valuable in exchange for what later turns out to be not so rosy a deal as it appeared at the time you signed it. So remember that during what I call the honeymoon phase, when everybody's getting along and everybody wants to make the agreement, don't look at everything through rose-colored glasses. Make sure you got a little perspective on that, what that might look like at the end of that business relationship when you're sitting out a non-compete for 18 months or 24 months, not in your profession, not working in your hometown, things of that nature. Just keep those things in mind. Anyway, hope y'all have a wonderful Thanksgiving week, and anybody traveling tomorrow, the next day, be safe on the roads. Godspeed.